The Brooklyn Nine, fourth inning, chapter 2, part 2. This is starting on page 139. Further down the boardwalk, the blaring carousel tunes and piped music from Coney Island's amusement parks called to him. Screams and laughter came from Steeplechase Park, where people rode mechanical horses around a great railed track. Pings and dings rose from the arcade games, and everywhere barkers called out, trying to get people to drop a dime on their show, their ride, their attraction. Competing with the barkers were the Soul Savers, railing against the sins and deprivation across the street. The Salvation Army, the American Temperance Society, the Women's Christian Temperance Union, the Templars of Honor and Temperance, the Anti-Saloon League. They camped out on the boardwalk in their sandwich boards and uniforms and hurled warnings and damnation at all who passed. Each of these bottles represents crime and corruption, one of them cried, tossing full bottles of whiskey out into the sea. Alcohol is an abomination, a plague on our cities and our communities and our families. Walter bought a hot dog at Feltman's, ate it in 4 bites, then headed for Luna Park. For as long as he and his family had been coming to Coney Island, Luna Park had been his favorite amusement park. It was huge and always packed full of people, at least in the vacation months, which is when Walter always came. He knew the place like the back of his catcher's mitt. All he had to do was look up and find the giant electric tower in the middle, and he instantly knew where he was in the park. The tower was covered with electric light bulbs and glowed like the sun night and day. By nightfall, Walter had ridden the Virginia Reel, the Helter Skelter, the Whirl of the Whirl, and Shoot the Chutes, Luna Park's feature attraction, twice. For Shoot the Chutes, you rode a cable car to the top of a 5-story incline, and then boarded what looked like a long metal cigar to slide down into the lagoon below. Walter thought the ride had to go 100 miles an hour. After his second trip, when his money was running low, he went to one of the theaters to see what the Barker advertised as a baseball movie. He was disappointed to find out that it wasn't a real moving picture show, just one of those gimmicks where they set slides in front of a projection bulb and show them on a big screen. Still, the photographs were funny, and the guy singing at the piano got laughs with a song about a girl named Katie O'Casey who was mad for baseball. Walter especially liked the chorus. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, let me root, root, root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. From the pictures, Walter wondered if the person who took them had ever really been out to the old ball game himself, but he liked the song well enough. From the sound of the applause, the rest of the audience liked it too. Getting up after the show, Walter spied the pitcher from the baseball game at the Brighton Beach Hotel. He and some of his Cuban friends were just leaving the back of the theater. Hey, you, pitcher, Walter cried, realizing he didn't know the man's name. Wait! The pitcher didn't hear him, or didn't know he was the one being yelled at. Walter worked his way across the theater, but the Cuban and his friends were already gone by the time he got there. He couldn't find them outside right away either. Walter slipped in and out of the crowd, hopping up and down to see, and finally spotted them going into the men's bathroom, the colored men's bathrooms. Walter frowned. The men had dark skin, but Cubans weren't colored. He waited outside, thinking maybe the men didn't know any better. They were, after all, from another country. A white couple gave Walter a strange look for standing in front of the colored bathrooms, and he moved to a nearby bench, his ears burning red. When the Cuban and his friends finally emerged, Walter had to hustle to catch up. Hey, Cubans, wait up, Walter called. The men didn't hear him or didn't care. They didn't stop. Walter ran around in front of them. Cubans, wait, stop, Walter said. The men stopped. Wait, how am I going to talk with these guys? Walter thought suddenly. I don't speak Spanish. Waito, mio, Waltero, he said, slow and loud. The men stared at him open-mouthed. Me see you playo beso ballo todeo. One of the men blinked. I think this boy's brains are scrambled. Wait, you speak English? What language did you think we'd speak? The pitcher asked. He had a long drawl like Knapp Rucker, the Superba pitcher from Georgia. Spanish. Aren't you all Cubans? The men looked at one another sheepishly. One of them laughed. Oh, right, the pitcher said. Well, we've been off the island a long time. One of the men snorted and turned around so his face was hidden from Walter. Great, even better, Walter told him. I saw you pitch today. You were amazing. The big pitcher smiled. Hey, thanks, kid. I mean it. You were better than half the pitchers in the National League. More than half, one of the other men said. The others nodded and chimed in their agreement. Listen, I'm the bat boy for the Brooklyn Superbuzz. Why don't you come try out? The team gets back tomorrow from playing exhibition games down south. I'm sure I can get Coach Donovan to give you a look. And I can already tell you're better than anything the Superbuzz have got. They're the turds of misery. Ain't that the truth? One of the Cubans said. The big pitcher gave Walter a sad smile. Oh, look, kid, that's awful nice of you, but I can't. But why not? The pitcher looked around at his chums who were trying not to laugh. Look, son, I'm sorry to fool you, but that Cuban thing's all an act. What? We're Negroes, son. We're colored, see? I'm even part Comanche, but my black daddy means there ain't no way they're going to let me play ball for no National League team, no matter how good I am. But at the hotel, they said you were Cuban. Nobody really believes that, kid, one of the others said. All them white folks, they know we're colored, but if the hotel tells them we're Cuban, they can pretend we're Cubans. They don't have to fess up to watching Negroes play ball, see? That way they can all sit there and drink their mint juleps and enjoy a nice afternoon of baseball without having to get all riled up about it. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard, Walter said. The Negroes agreed with him. Weren't always like that. Time was right after the war when a black man and a white man played ball right alongside each other. Who was it made the old American Association? Moses Walker? One of them asked. First and last, the pitcher said, but that was 20 years ago. The good old days, said another. Why can't it be like that now? Walter asked. The big pitcher shrugged. It's just the way things are now. Walter was getting tired of people telling him that. It's a nice dream, kid, but it's only a dream, the pitcher said. He and his friends moved away. Wait, I don't even know your name, Walter called. Joe Williams, the pitcher called back, but you can call me Cyclone. Walter left Luna Park that night mad at the world, which was bad news for the second of the three boys who had beat him up that morning. Walter caught him coming out of Steeplechase Park alone, and he beat the tar right out of him. He beat the tar out of him right there on the sidewalk, right there on the boardwalk.